As Star Rescue from American Ambulance was on scene, and they utilized extreme care in being able to retrieve this body from the canal. I can tell you that based on the clothing description, as well as some other personal identifiers, that we have a high degree of certainty that this is in fact Lucy Xiong. We will not have 100% positive confirmation until tomorrow. The coroner is on scene and did a partial examination, but based on the information we have and some personal identifiers and clothing, it does appear to be Lucy Xiong, but again, we'll be able to confirm that tomorrow. I can tell you that there's some additional information that I can provide today based on investigative work that was done, because we're still treating this as a suspicious missing person with the potential of foul play being involved. The reason I say that is because of the fact that Lucy Xiong was on the phone slightly before she went into the canal. She made a comment and screamed, and then the phone disconnected. That in and of itself creates incredible circumstances and suspicion, but also we know that her personal credit card and debit card were used over the next couple of days. We do know that a female utilized the credit card at 4 different locations on Friday, the day that she was reported as missing. We have been able to identify and locate that female and interviewed her twice. She has provided us information that she found a purse with a wallet inside that belonged to Lucy Xiong. Within that purse, there was a credit card and a debit card and some other miscellaneous items. She took that credit card and she actually used it at 4 different locations. She then, according to her, ran into a male and exchanged the credit card and a debit card for some personal property. And at that time, the male attempted to utilize, actually did utilize that credit card one time, and then it was taken from him by a clerk at one of the stores, recognizing that in fact it was not belonging to him. He then went on to utilize on 7 different other occasions, he used the debit card until there was no more money left in the account. We are still trying to identify that individual and locate him, which is why I don't want to put out too much information regarding where those purchases occurred, but we are attempting to locate him. And with that, I'll open up to any questions that you might have. Well, they're definitely, the individuals using their credit cards are definitely suspects in fraud. Whether or not they had anything to do with Lucy Xiong's disappearance is not known at this time. Certainly the female that was interviewed twice denies any knowledge of her disappearance, said that she came across the purse on a canal bank, went inside of the purse, located the property, and then began to use it at various locations. That is consistent with her history, as she has prior arrests for fraud and is known to our felony theft unit.
Other than people using her credit card, were there any other reasons that you guys are investigating or people that have involvement in this?
Well, so far we've been able to not just identify, but have a conversation yesterday again with the person who called the police that night to report the drowning. He made that call not with his own cell phone, but with a female's cell phone. He was in the area of First McKinley, saw what he described as a female in the canal on her side, and at that time did not know whether she was alive or dead. He then went to the area of First Street and Pine. There was a female there. He borrowed her phone and then called 911 and reported that incident to us. So there was probably an 8 to 10 minute delay by the time that he actually saw her in the canal and the time that that report was made to the police department plus response time on top of that. We spent considerable time that night searching every single canal, attempting to look for her or see if we could find the female, which we were not able to. As you know, this week we partnered with the irrigation district, lowered the water, and utilized about 40 of our personnel along with the fire department to search every bit of that canal bank. There was a significant amount of debris that was removed from the canal, or from the inside of the canal, shopping carts, a truckload of trash, and so forth. What we don't know is where she was from the time she fell in until today. But it's very possible that she got lodged underneath one of the bridges and was dislodged after the water levels were lowered and then raised again.
So no indication that she has been there the entire time?
No indication she's been there the entire time. In fact, specifically, we have photographs of this location with a significant amount of debris on the east side of the canal. And we took steps to remove all of that debris and then to look, and she was not there at that time.
Chief, were you guys able to recover the phone she was talking about?
We have not recovered the phone. We're in the process of obtaining a search warrant so that we can look at the historical data on that phone, as well as the location where that phone was, to what we should be able to determine where, in fact, that phone was at the time that the call went dead. That's our hopes, at least. You can't do that with every phone, but we hope that to be the case.
And you said when she was talking to someone, she screamed or something. So anybody heard somebody else there or talking to her or something like that?
There's no one else that heard anything. We have gone door to door within that entire area. We do know that the boyfriend was on the phone with her. He is the one that heard the scream, heard her yell out expletive right before the phone got disconnected. He attempted to call back and there was no answer. We had information that came in the day after about some type of what may have been a disturbance not too far from where her house was, but that did not pan out in terms of being involved in this case, so no other information.
Did the boyfriend report her instantly after he talked to her?
The boyfriend immediately went over to the parents' house where she had went missing in 3200 block of East Olive, and shared with them what happened. We were not contacted until 10 a.m. the next morning, which would have been Friday morning at 10 a.m. when the report came in. And as you know, the report of a person in the canal came in the previous night just after 1 a.m. So officers were not aware of the missing person at that time. I did meet with the family today, Detective Paul Hill from our missing persons unit, who has been in constant contact with the family throughout. We met with the family today and let them know that we have a high degree of certainty that this, in fact, is Lucy, but we will not have confirmation until a later time.
Was there any bodily injuries? Yes or no?
There are no obvious visible signs of injury to the body outside of what might have occurred during the time she was in the canal. There'll be a more thorough examination that occurs as early as tomorrow, or more than likely Sunday, and there will be some additional information, but at this point there was not any.
Just looking at the timeline, from the time that the boyfriend contacted the family saying that they were disappearing, they went over to their apartment, you know what took place, they were not looking for her, they waited for her to return home. What happened between that time and police contact?
I believe at that point they were waiting, hoping that she would come home. As you know, prior to leaving, there was a verbal argument between her and her mom. She was highly upset, and I don't know if the family searched that neighborhood. Paul, do you know the neighborhood that night?
Yes, the family is leaving.
Detective Paul Hill.
Yes. Sorry, your first and last name, please.
Hill.
Taull. Yes, the family, along with the boyfriend, immediately left their house, began canvassing the entire neighborhood.
Chief, I know this is probably just a sad day. You guys last week have been searching for Lucy, hoping to bring her back home to your family, to find the body here in
Well, it's certainly sad. The entire incident has been a tragedy. We were hopeful, we were optimistic, we were hoping we were going to find her alive, and she may still be alive. I don't want to close that door yet, although there's a very small percentage that she is. We believe this is Lucy Xiong that was in the canal. But it is certainly a tragedy. We did not spare any resources in attempting to not only investigate this case, but locate Lucy Xiong. We had as many as 40 detectives on this case throughout the week. We had detectives working today reviewing some video. We still have video to review. But it is a tragedy, and it's an unfortunate set of circumstances that somehow, some way, she ended up in that canal, either by falling in or from some other means. And we have not ruled that out yet, but the possibility is this was a missing person case where she ran from the location and ultimately fell into the canal. But there is that possibility that something else occurred prior to her going into the canal, and we're looking at those circumstances.
Chief, where the purse was found, you guys are checking surveillance cameras in that area?
We have surveillance cameras from nearby businesses. We also have surveillance cameras from the real-time crime center with video policing cameras. And there was a residence that had a camera that peered out over their backyard. All of that video footage is being looked at and analyzed. There's hours of that video. And also there's video in each of the stores where the credit card or debit card was utilized. And again, we have photos of that. That's what allowed us to track down the one female who initially used the credit card. Okay. Any other questions? Yes.
After the extensive search yesterday, were you guys surprised to get a call today? Is it suspicious at all that after such an extensive search yesterday?
Well, we briefed on this case yesterday evening, and the belief was that she had possibly been lodged underneath one of the bridges because we were told by the irrigation district that underneath the bridges there are pipes that go in under that area, and it's very easy for a person to be dislodged. No one went under that bridge because of the swift water and the fact that it would have been extremely dangerous. We did utilize cameras as best we could from the fire department to attempt to locate a body, but we're not able to. It is our belief that she was lodged underneath a bridge. Somehow the raising of the water, or the lowering of the water and then the raising of the water, possibly caused her to become disconnected or dislodged, and that's what happened today.
Chief, the suspect who found the purse and used credit card, are you guys going to question her more, or she is released?
There will be some additional questioning once we do some further investigative work, but we plan on speaking with her this week. She's been very cooperative. She understands what she did was wrong, was criminal. We have not made any type of arrest as of yet. That could happen as a result of her utilizing these cards, and more than likely it will. But we have some further investigative work to do on that as well. Brianna? The female who located the purse took our detectives back to the location and showed them where that purse was found. Whether or not that is accurate, we don't know, but that's what we were told. It would have been near the canal, in the area of over by Carl's Jr.'s, which would have been First McKinley. Okay. Alrighty. As further updates, we'll provide them to you, and as confirmation, 100% confirmation of the body is done, I'm sure the coroner's office will take care of that either tomorrow or Monday. Okay. Thank you very much.